Well, we are less than 24 hours out now from the trade deadline, and there have been some absolute bombs as of late.
I mean, everybody was surprised, so you can imagine how surprised I was. I had to check it was April 1st.
I'm scared. Tim, hey, if you're going to trade me, let me know, dog.
This, however, is not one of them. As in one of the worst kept secrets in the NBA, the Miami Heat have finally, mercifully, traded Jimmy Butler, who lost his joy weeks ago.
What do I want to see happen? I want to see me get my joy back from playing basketball. And wherever that may be, we'll find out here pretty soon.
And this all comes amid a flurry of suspensions by the Heat, 3 in all, 2 of which were for conduct detrimental to the team, and the 3rd for missing a team flight, with his most recent suspension beginning on January 27th, and overall, Butler hadn't played a game for the Heat since January 21st. All of it just seemed to pile up around poor old Jimmy, making it evident that Butler just wasn't going to be able to relocate that elusive feeling in the joy department, at least not while he was still in Miami.
Can you get your joy back here on the court?
Probably not.
And as a bit of a backdrop, that $50 million roughly per year annual salary tragically just wasn't aiding him in the joy department.
It's a complete crap.
Now it remains to be seen if the joy will return to Jimmy now that he has been traded to the Golden State Warriors in a ridiculous 5-team trade.
What?
Yes, you heard that right. 5 teams needed to get this trade realistically no one really wanted over the finish line. And I do mean no one wanted this. I mean, not really. Sure, Jimmy wanted out from Miami desperately. We all know that, as he was yelling from the mountaintops to anyone that would listen, practically asking everyone, including letters to Santa Claus, to get him out of town. Realistically, though, the destination Butler really wanted was Phoenix, to pair with Durant and Booker. This deal to Golden State has been on the table, but initially was squashed reportedly because Butler wouldn't sign an extension with them, as he was holding out for that move to Phoenix, which the Suns also desperately wanted to get done, but couldn't because the Washington Wizards decided to give Bradley Beal a no-trade clause.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
The Washington Wizards? The Washington Wizards.
Some are always trying to ice skate uphill.
As a result of the inability to move Beal to facilitate a Butler trade, allegedly, the Suns have been taking phone calls on Durant.
It's pretty wild times, man, NBA, especially around trade deadline time. I know everybody's gonna be watching their phone the next week. We got 5 days. I know everybody's gonna be following the updates. So yeah, it's crazy.
And one of the biggest buyers for him, you might be wondering. Yes, you guessed it, the Warriors.
You cannot be serious!
Feeling a little nostalgic about those glory days, the floundering Warriors, who sat at just 25-24 to start the night, wanted to get the band back together. Only one tiny little problem though, according to sources close to the Durant camp, he didn't want anything to do with a return to the Bay Area. So it basically became Jimmy Butler or bust. And with the pending trade deadline inching closer and closer, Butler caved, opted out of his current contract, and signed a $121 million extension to stay in Golden State through the 2026-2027 season. And allow me to do the math for you there. It is $60.5 million annually. Now, who knows exactly how that money will be structured and dispersed, but if that per year cap hit figure stands, it would make Jimmy the highest paid player in the entire NBA.
What?
Jimmy Butler, the highest paid player in the NBA. He is currently averaging 17 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. Yeah, that guy. $60 million per year. interesting move by the Warriors. Of course, though, they are just hoping they get a little slice of playoff Jimmy, the guy who led the Miami Heat to 2 NBA Finals in his first 5 years with that organization. Of course, Butler will be turning 36 before the start of next year's regular season, and he averaged only 58 games played per year in his 5 full seasons with the Heat. And that all includes him, of course, missing the playoffs for the Heat last season with a knee injury. But it was obvious, though, that Butler had worn out his welcome in Miami, and nothing new from him there, as this will be now Butler's 5th NBA team with unceremonious exits from all of them. Chicago after a rift with head coach Fred Hoiberg, bounced from Minnesota after ongoing clashes with Karl Anthony Towns, and of course, how could anyone forget what happened in Philadelphia?
Tobias Harris over me?
Yes, a deal needed to be made, and Golden State was desperate enough to make it. All it took was 3 other teams to make this near non-needle mover come to fruition. A 5-team deal, with the Warriors getting Butler, the Heat meanwhile receiving Andrew Wiggins, PJ Tucker, the Warriors' 2025 first-round pick with top 10 protection, the Jazz are getting Dennis Schroeder, and yeah, that smells ripe for a buyout. The Pistons get Lindy Waters and Josh Richardson, and Toronto receives Kyle Anderson, who they are promptly trying to move right now. Wow, that is a lot of teams for a near net neutral move by Golden State. The Warriors, who were currently occupying the final play-in spot in the West to start the night, traded away 2 of their top 4 players in terms of minutes per game to amass a pretty frightening big 3. Frightening, that is, if you're a fan of the Warriors, as all 3 of their marquee players now are at least 34 years of age or older. Butler is currently averaging his lowest point per game total since way back in the 2013-2014 season, his 3rd in the NBA, while Steph Curry's 22 points per game constitute his lowest total since his 4th season back in 2012-2013. And well, does Draymond Green really even constitute part of a big 3? His best skill remains sniffing jocks or kicking them. Yeah, this move just doesn't seem to move the needle, though according to Vegas, Golden State is ever so slightly closer to a championship, as their title odds shorten from plus 4,000 to plus 3,300 following the deal. More than likely, this trade will result in must-see TV. Sadly though, for Golden State and Jimmy, that is likely going to be for all of the wrong reasons. But if you want to see more on a trade that actually did alter the NBA landscape, check this video to see the crazy-ass reason Mavericks general manager Nico Harrison shipped a generational star out of town. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to subscribe now and stay up to date with me. Until next time.